So, we had a dream match to start AEW Collision this week. That annoyed a lot of people, didn't it? Also, hello my friends, and welcome to Ups and Downs, the show with me, Simon Miller, where we do give the good bits an up, and the bad bits a down. It's as simple as that. Sometimes, an octopus appears in my hand. And are you going to see that on any other wrestling review show? No, you're not. But yeah, look, anyway, Tony Khan did announce on social media, I have a dream match for Collision, before he revealed it was going to be Bryan Danielson taking on Andrade. And look, I get it, maybe it's not the crazy fight you were expecting, but one, it's still pretty damn good, and two, you do know Mr. Khan is a promoter, and his job is to promote. I think the real issue is that they did fight back on SmackDown like in 2018, but I can see what's going on here. Bryan Danielson is giving up full time in 2024, and he's just got a list of people he wants to wrestle, so now he's doing it. And when it comes to the American Dragon, if it's good for him, it's good for me. What? I mean, this crowd was into it because they started chanting, "This is awesome," instantly when these two guys tried to wrestle, although they came to a stalemate, so they looked at each other and shook hands. Friends. It was then into the submissions, but once again, nobody could get the upper hand, which is when Bryan was like, "Aight," and he just dropped Andrade. This is always plan C. It was then time to start beating up the ring, so Danielson threw Andrade into the ring post and hit a knee off the ring apron when he realized, wait a minute, this Mr. Tranquilo has an arm. He just stomped on it. Looked horrible. Andrade then panicked, so he hit a moonsault when he too hit this absolutely nuts dragon screw leg whip. I mean, Zack Sabre Jr. was doing this and now he's doing it. It is such a basic move, but somehow they make it look like death. He then thought about the figure four, but Danielson didn't like that, so instead he went into the label lock, which is when Andrade was like, "No, you won't," and he gave him the double stomp. And I was like, man, this is good. For some reason, the masked man just wanted to do moonsault, so he went for another and missed. This is when Bryan Danielson just booted him in the skull over and over again. I was like, look, surely somebody has told him, Bryan, if you get into Andrade's brain, there's a voucher in there for free pizza for life. He then did get the figure four and almost the figure eight when Danielson decided he was going to go for the running knee, when instead Andrade hit the most devastating move in all of sports entertainment, the surprise roll-up. And then Danielson did it, and then Andrade did it again, and eventually Bryan got the best one, 1, 2, 3. So this ruled, as did the aftermath, because when they did shake hands once again, all of a sudden the lights went out, and I was like, man, what's wrong with the electrics? Instead, when they did come back on, Malachi Black had returned to AEW. This is when he just black massed Bryan Danielson right in the head. This ties into what we said earlier. Danielson has got his list, and next, it says MB. Claudio, Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta did run out to make the save, but they were way too late. And as this episode of Collision was going to tell us, we also have a brand new feud. We'll get into it, but it's getting it out. We then had this video with Darby Allin, who was all like, I tell you why Nick Wayne has become a dickhead, because of the internet. Because apparently Nick had opened up to him saying, man, why is everyone being so mean to me when I have made my AEW debut? But still, he shouldn't have listened to the haters, because they're a bunch of idiots. He will be on Dynamite though, not only to get into it with Nick Wayne, but because Tony Khan is going to give Sting a special gift. I have absolutely no idea what that could be. Maybe it will be his very own octopus. Well, we got something really cool, a Skye Blue squash match. Now this must tie into the fact that she is slowly going heel because Julia Hart spat some goo into her face, but the absolute highlight is that even though she is a bit of an ass now, she was still wearing Scooby-Doo inspired gear. So now she's my favorite wrestler. Hollywood Haley was her opponent too, which kind of let you know what was going to happen. Bomb of power, code blue, she got the 3. I am quite excited to see where we do head with this though, because Skye Blue needed, well, something different, and now she's got it, and she's playing it very well. Up. The only bizarre thing is that right after this, we got another squash match. I was like, man, AEW loves doing this. Now, it was the Guns versus the Outrunners, who are the greatest team that nobody ever talks about. But after Austin and Colton had just smacked them round for a bit, they hit the 310 to Yuma, and yeah, this went like a minute. And there was this really cool follow-up, because straight after this, the lights did go out again, and when they came back on, the dude wearing the devil mask was on the screen. The Guns and Jay White was all running around like, oh my gosh, what's he going to do? Now, the fans must think this is Maxwell Jacob Friedman, because everyone started to go MJF. Obviously, I do believe that is going to be a little bit of a ruse. Now look, the Guns getting a quick win. Good. Making sure we follow up with this, oh my gosh, whodunit angle. Good. So it is going to get an up. But if you do have 2 back-to-back squash matches, the second one is going to suffer because you just saw it. It's like if I give you a hug and then I give you another hug straight away, you'd be like, Simon, 1 hug was enough. I don't know what we're talking about, but I am giving it down. I do just want to give a shout out to Turbo and Floyd though. One day I hope they're the champions, I'm not kidding. Lexi Nair was then interviewing Chris Statlander and Orange Cassidy when Chris wanted to get ready for her match she was having on Battle of the Belts, so she started lifting Lexi Nair. I was like, it's a really weird thing to do. And then right after this, we had a Memphis street fight. This collision was absolutely nuts. It was also Jeff Jarrett versus Eddie Kingston, and you are not going to believe this. Double J won. I just fell on the floor. The thing is, Jarrett not only came out with all his crew, which meant it was basically like 79 people on one, but the stipulation was, if Jarrett did get the victory, Jay Lethal would receive a Ring of Honor title shot. That is a bizarre stipulation. That's like me saying I played the lottery and I won, therefore you, random stranger, get to keep my money. But honestly, if you are looking for some sports entertainment, this is the way. Jeffrey also got a massive reaction because he is in his hometown, kind of, but not really, but it was close. And we had Dave Brown on commentary, who we were told used to commentate on Jeff Jarrett matches back in the day. It's really cool. Because they could brawl anywhere, Eddie was also hurling hot dogs at Jeff Jarrett at one point, so I was laughing. But then all of a sudden, we just had so many weapons, but also that didn't matter because again, Jeff Jarrett's cronies kept getting involved to the point it actually became comical. Karen Jarrett didn't care about that though, so she got in and just ripped at Eddie Kingston's eyes. So once again, I was laughing. And then yeah, Lethal just hit this cutter through a table onto Kingston. I was like, what is he meant to do? Sanjay Dutt was also getting involved, so Ed had to get rid of him, and he absolutely smacked Satnam Singh with a guitar. But this led to Jeff Jarrett sneaking in and hitting the stroke, and when that didn't work, every single individual got out there and went finishing move, finishing move, finishing move, finishing move, and surprise, surprise, it beat Eddie Kingston. I mean, this would have beaten Zeus. So it was the most hollow victory ever, but I had such a good time, and hey look, who doesn't want Eddie Kingston versus Jay Lethal for the ROH World title? I do. Up. Max Caster then screwed up his etiquette again because he tried to come on to Lexi Nair with the worst line you've ever heard. And after Daddy Ass and Anthony Bones had told him, oh my gosh, you don't understand it, they too were going to go get ready for their big fight. I was then just so happy after this because Miro is back. Yes! Now, of course, he was taking on Action Andretti because, of course, Action had tried to hire CJ Perry as his manager and Miro doesn't like that. And you can already figure out how this went. Action tried to use his flippy-dippy doodah moves and Miro went, no, I'm going to rip your head off. And he kind of did. There was this really good bit when Miro was going for the game over, but Andretti reversed it into the most devastating move in all of sports entertainment, the surprise roll-up. And even though it didn't work here, my brain thought it might do, because of course, Action Andretti once beat Chris Jericho. I went absolutely nuts when Miro kicked out at 1 after a 450, because I love that stuff. When he hit the kick of power, he applied the game over, and he got the tap-out win. Perry was on the outside being like, well, that didn't go how I planned. What am I going to do now? I suppose we'll find out. All I really hope, though, is that we keep Miro on TV. He is one of my favorite wrestlers, and he has been so for years. Therefore, he gets it up. We then learned it's going to be Ruby Soho versus Shida on Dynamite for the AEW Women's Championship. When Lexi Nair was back again, she was interviewing Anna Jay, Matt Menard, Angelo Parker, and Daniel Garcia. Now, Lexi wanted to know if they had all made up, and Anna was like, yes, of course we had. Although Daddy Magic was like, no, this fool keeps dancing, and I want him to stop dancing. I mean, we've all been there. These three then walked off, I suppose, to settle it, although there was friction, when Angelo Parker stayed in the screen and Ruby Soho walked in, and they kind of had a little bit of a flirt because both their groups are going into the toilet. I was like, what was that about? Anyway, this was just so Ruby Soho could promote her big match on Wednesday. Do I think she will win the title? No. No, I don't. We then had yet another video with Roosh and his boys, who he did try to kill, and he was all like, man, where's my opportunities? And man, why do people keep saying I'm so violent? I was like, I know, because I saw a bunch of vignettes when, yeah, you were smacking up your own friends, so what are your enemies gonna think? It's also not gonna get you invited to many parties, so he probably is a sad panda. When we cut to the back, and Eddie Kingston just cut the best damn promo. I mean, it was so damn good, we have to bring in the Does Eddie Kingston Know Wrestling is a Work Machine? And of course it says no. And he just launched into Jay Lethal saying, man, you used to be like a love letter to pro wrestling, and now you're hanging around with that carny idiot Jeff Jarrett. He also said when they do have their ROH World title fight, he should leave these jabronis in the back so they can do it one-on-one. When he's gonna beat him so badly, his mum is gonna cry. And not because he is beating up her son, because even the mother will know, Jay Lethal, you deserved it. He's the best. He's the best. One day he's got to be the AEW World Champion. Don't at me. He's getting up. I then got worried because I thought we had another squash match on our hands and 3 would have been overkill, but actually it was a match leading to an angle. No problem with that. Because Darian Benston and Bad Thad Brown, oh my gosh, I need more of that tag team in my life, were taking on FTR, but before we could do much of anything, the lights went out again. Now, it did tie into the return of Malachi Black Part 2, but this time he was with Buddy Matthews and he was with Brody King, and they just kicked the shit out of Cash Wheeler and Dax Harwood. But completely left them laying, and given what's going to happen at the end of the show, I think we are in for a super mega big feud, and it makes me excited in my Tootsie Toes. So look, I'm just going to give it an up, and we'll get back to it in a minute. But it goes to show, sometimes you can achieve some business in around about 3 minutes. It was then our main event for the AEW Tag Team titles because the Blackpool Combat Club were taking on Ricky Starks and Big Bill. And once again, all you need to know is that this was the night of the house. That didn't work at all. Starks and Yuta did begin here though, although Ricky got out wrestled. He was like, I don't even care. I've got another plan. And he tagged in the biggest of bills, and yeah, he ran at Wheels, and he totally killed him. Wheeler did have a little bit of a flurry, but that's when Ricky Starks cast a distraction, so Yuta went right into Barricade, and Claudio got it too. Every time he was trying to make a tag, the bad guys just went nope, and they punched him. It meant Wheels had no partner to tag in, and we got this great Bossman slam for a 1-2-ooh. When I presume Castagnoli must have taken his Phoenix down, he was ready, he got that hot tag, and don't forget, when we are talking about the hottest of tags, is anyone better than Claudio? I do not think so. I mean, he just lariated Ricky's head off before he started doing all these super cigar uppercuts to every single person that looked at him. I was just like, man, he's such a good wrestler. Somehow the champs did rally to score with that DDT big boot combo, when Wheeler Yuta had the craziest idea, he was gonna German suplex Big Bill. 9. Starks didn't want to see that though, so he cast distraction once again, meaning Wheeler did get slammed with the Razor's Edge. It was another 1-2-ooh. Amazingly, this was going to end with a triple header too, because who then appeared once again? It was the House of Black. I mean, Malachi Black was just going bonkers here, which meant it hypnotized the referee, so he didn't know what was going on, when Buddy Matthews and Brody King just ran through the Blackpool Combat Club, and that allowed Ricky Starks, because he doesn't care, he hit the spear, he hit the Ranchambeau, and he got the 1-2-3. Everyone who had then been screwed by the House of Black did run to the ring, but because they've got like magical powers, they were in control, meaning we needed one last person to balance the books, and of course, who was it? The returning Jon Moxley. This totally worked too, because the crowd went nuts for this, and the good guys cleared up as well, because we got the Shatter Machine, the Death Rider, and the big old swing. So now, we are going to be doing something with the House of Black, the Blackpool Combat Club, and FTR. And in no universe can they have bad matches, and I also enjoyed that there was a theme that connected Collision. It kept me invested. So yeah, I thought this was pretty damn good. Giving it up. Which did indeed bring us to the end of AEW Collision, and it was just such a well put together show, as it always is. Plus it does feel different to Dynamite. That's important. Now, of course, please do leave me a comment below and let me know what you thought about last night's episode of Collision. Like the video, share the video, and subscribe. Click this video here, which is ups and downs for maybe Bound for Glory, or SmackDown ups and downs. You just never know with the crazy YouTube. Before you go to whatculture.com, and follow us on social media. My name is Simon What Culture. Thank you very much for joining me as always. Have a lovely day. I'll see you throughout the week.